Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Infogol Betting Podcast. I'm Jake Osgathorpe, joined by Liam Kelly. Liam, how did you find the first weekend of action?
Yeah, it was good. Premier League was really exciting, I thought. Championship was a bit short on goals and chances, really, but overall I thought it was really good.
Yeah, and also with us is Steven Railston. I'm sure you were very pleased Saturday night when Newcastle grabbed 3 points at West Ham.
I can imagine a few beers were hard. I was absolutely delighted with that result. All the signings look really good. Callum Wilson in particular. I think you give a focal point up front. So yeah, wasn't good for Liam's recommended bet, I don't think, opposed to Newcastle, but I'll happily take that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be talking too much about Newcastle in this podcast, but I thought I'd give you 2 minutes. So in the first section, we're just going to talk around a few of our best outright bets for the upcoming league seasons in Italy, Germany and Portugal. Portugal is a new league that we've added this season for the Infogol app and the Infogol website. Expected goals data and tips for that. Liam, you wrote the Portugal season preview. What was your best fancy in Premier Liga?
It's my only fancy, actually. It's Benfica to win outright. They've got new manager in, say new. He's come back, Jorge Jesus. Everyone knows how successful he was with Flamengo last season. Some excellent signings from Brazil again, Everton and Darwin Núñez from Spain. I know they got knocked out of the Champions League in midweek. That probably end up being a good thing for the domestic campaign, but like they averaged 1.83 XG4 per game last season and less than 1 XG against, just behind Porto on that. But I think they've improved massively over the summer, and Porto actually overperformed quite a bit last season. So I think they're a really good bet for outright.
Yeah, what price are we looking at around Benfica for that?
It was 5 to 6 on Sky Bet.
Yeah, I do like that. I think that it was quite a tight tussle for most of the way last season, if I remember rightly, and Benfica did sort of bottle it, which obviously led to the managerial change. And another league that we cover at Infogol, the Brazil Serie A, he was very successful there with Flamengo. So yeah, really good appointment. Steven, you covered the Bundesliga. What was your best bet for the upcoming Bundesliga campaign?
Yeah, I'm back in Borussia Mönchengladbach to finish in the top 4, 2.70. The Infogol model predicts a 66.8% chance that Gladbach can finish in the top 4. They secured Champions League football last season after a decent campaign. They were the 4th best attacking side in the Bundesliga, and they've still got Mbolo and Play amongst their ranks. And more importantly, I think the opposition, they haven't improved. They're not going to be as good next season. Notably, Bayer Leverkusen lost Havertz and Volland, and they're quite important players. So I think Wolfsburg haven't been convincing either. So yeah, I think Gladbach are a good price to finish in the top 4.
Yeah, I think like you said, the key thing there is Bayer Leverkusen, the fact that they are much weaker this time around on paper anyway. I wrote a preview for the Italian Serie A season, and the bet I'd really like is quite short. Atalanta to finish in the top 4. It's around 4 to 6. It's, like I said, a short price, but based on expected goals last season, they were the best team in Serie A by a long way. They were the best attacking team and defensive team according to expected goals. They've kept the bulk of the squad together, and they've added a few interesting players. Miranchuk has come in, who is a very impressive midfield player. And more importantly, they've kept the manager and the likes of Papu Gomez, who did turn down a move away this summer. No reason to think that they won't continue in that same vein and secure another top 4 finish. Obviously finished very well in the Champions League last season, got all the way to the quarter-final stage, and I think they can do something similar this time around. I was tempted to tip them up to win the title as my best bet, but I think that might just be a little bit too much of a stretch, although it is value at 13s. But my best bet in Italy is Atalanta for a top 4 finish at 4 to 6. All of the season previews are available to read on infogol.net. You've got the Serie A, the Bundesliga and the Premier Liga that we've just discussed on there, as well as all of the other leagues being previewed in great detail. So be sure to check those out on infogol.net. Time for section 2, and that is our naps of the week. Liam, where are you going this weekend for your best bet?
I'm going to the Championship. I'm sticking with Swansea. I know it was a game pretty short on chances last week, but they beat Preston away from home. We're really high on Preston this season, due to how good they were last season, and to get a result at Preston really good, I think. And coming into this week, facing Birmingham, same as opening day of last season, sort of got ahead against Brentford and just held out on a barrage, really.
It wasn't quite as dramatic as last season's one shot, one goal.
No header outside the box.
Yeah.
But I think we've got them like mid-bottom half, really. So I think like the disparity in quality is there, and I just think Swansea are much better than them. Coming back home to Wales, I think it'd be difficult for them to get anything, really.
What price are we looking at for a Swansea win then?
That was evens.
Evens, yeah. I had a little look just beforehand, just check the Betfair exchange, where you can obviously sometimes get a much better price, and that's the case with Swansea. You can get them at 2.16 if you do bet on the exchange, or even on the high street. Stephen, your nap of the week this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going with another evens bet across the Hillsborough in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday host Watford on Saturday. The Infogol model calculates a 59% chance that both teams will get on the score sheet. And Sheffield, they were really good last season. Frustrating team to follow, you know, Jake. Often posting good underlying numbers, but maybe not getting the results that the performances reflect. They're the fourth best attack according to expected goals in the Championship. And with Watford, they've still got a lot of quality, and I'd be surprised if they don't come back up this season. So, yeah, I think they can plenty of goals in that match. And, yeah, I'm batting BTS at 2.0.
Yeah, I do like that. And my nap, I'm going to the Premier League. Southampton versus Tottenham, obviously both had very disappointing results in the first round of fixtures, both losing 1-0. Both really struggled to create, but looking pretty vulnerable defensively, the pair. So I like the look of both teams to score. Surely Southampton and Spurs, with the attacking talent that they've got on offer, won't be playing as badly in attack as they did in the first week. So I'm hoping to see much more goal-mouth action. I do like the look of both teams to score. It's about 1.8 on the Betfair exchange about that happening. A reminder that the Infogol app is free to download on our iOS store or Google Play. All the features that we discuss on here, the percentage chance, the analyst verdicts, the shot maps, all available there by a touch of your fingertips. Free to download, so go do that right now. Section 3 is where we discuss our lays of the weekend, so teams that we're looking to oppose. This weekend, I'm looking at opposing Leicester. They're around 1.68 to back on the Betfair exchange. You can lay them at 1.69. Although they were really impressive against West Brom last weekend, I think limited West Brom to 0.4 expected goals, racking up around over 2 expected goals themselves. Obviously, 2 penalties in there. West Brom, Infogol really thinks that they are relegation fodder this time around. And unfortunately for Leicester, it does get tougher. They play Burnley, a team who lost just twice in the last 16 Premier League games last season. They're a very tough nut to crack. The underlying process last time around was really impressive and trending in a really positive direction compared to previous seasons. They're averaging 1.4 expected goals for, 1.5 expected goals against per game. Really tough team to play against, and I think that this game will be no different. Sean Dyche will set his team up to be hard to beat, and I think they've got every chance of avoiding defeat at the King Power. So I'm going to be laying Leicester at 1.69. Stephen, where are you going with your lay this weekend?
I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to lay the champions, Liverpool, at 2.28. Obviously, they were away at Stamford Bridge this weekend. When the teams last met, that was post-break, and Liverpool emerged as 5-3 winners. Chelsea did win the XG battle that day, and it was an entertaining game. I'm probably going to expect another high-scoring game. I think it'll be a good encounter to watch. But Liverpool did take the foot off the gas towards the back end of last season. And although that did skew their XG figures, I wasn't that convinced against Leeds. I know Leeds only created 0.33 XG, and they were very clinical and scored 3 goals. But there's definitely weakness there in that Liverpool side. And Chelsea's new signings, I believe, Havertz will play a bit further forward than he did against Brighton. Pulisic is expected to be back, so I think Chelsea can definitely get a result. And yeah, so lay Liverpool at 2.2.
Yeah, there should be plenty of spaces for the likes of Werner and Pulisic to exploit from what Leeds managed to show us against Liverpool. So yeah, I can't argue with that. Liam, where are you going with your lay?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Stephen there. I wasn't too impressed with Liverpool last week, actually, really. I know their XG numbers are pretty in their favour, but 0.33 for Leeds doesn't really reflect how vulnerable Liverpool looked, I don't think. And Liverpool's 2 penalties makes it look like a large total for expected goals for. Chelsea didn't really impress me either, but I just think they're going to get better week on week. Havertz is going to look a lot better than he did last week. They also got their XG skewed by a penalty a bit, but they have a lot more quality than Leeds to take advantage if Liverpool look a bit more vulnerable than do. So I think it's a good bet as well. That'd be my lay of the week.
A reminder that with a new exchange offer, if you bet £20, you get a free £20 bet. So any of the lays that we have recommended, if you are new to the Betfair exchange, do sign up and place £20, you get a free £20 bet to place on anything that you like. But now we've got all the European leagues up and running, we're going to take a trip round Europe. Stephen, where are you going for your best European bet of the weekend?
I'm going to Germany and the Bundesliga tomorrow night and Friday night. And I'm going for Bayern Munich, Schalke. I'm going to go for under 3.5, 2.4. Now, usually in normal circumstances, I would fancy Bayern to score definitely more than 3 goals. But they've just came back and they've won the Champions League. They've had a short pre-season. I think the game's going to be played at a leisurely tempo. Don't think it's going to be there. I think it'll be quite tight, especially that they've got the UEFA Super Cup next week against Sevilla. So with that in mind, yeah, I'm going to put me in for them back under 3.5.
Yeah, it's quite a big price that as well. I'm going to go to Spain. Real Sociedad versus Real Madrid. I think that Real Sociedad were pretty poor against Valladolid last week. 1-1, they drew away from home, but they racked up just 0.3 expected goals. And it does look as though, I know it's a small sample, but it looks as though they are going to struggle this season to create without Martin Odegaard until David Silva is fit enough to come in and fill that void. I don't think he's going to be available for the game this weekend, playing a Real Madrid team who won the Liga last season, mainly thanks to a strong defence. Post-break, they came back, they were excellent. It allowed just 0.8 expected goals against per game in the 11 games post-break, and that was really the key to their success. And I can see this being quite a low-scoring game, quite a tight game. I think that Real Madrid will use the defence to build on the success of last season. And I think under 2.5 goals at 2.14 is a really strong value bet. Liam, what's your European nap?
Yeah, I really agree with your take there on that match. I'd say I wouldn't be afraid if Real Madrid take an early lead either, just because last year we saw, especially after lockdown, we saw them take a lead and then sort of shut up shop. So that's a good one. But I'm going to go to Italy for mine, and on Sunday, Sassuolo to beat Cagliari at 1.97 on the Betfair exchange. Sassuolo finished a bit poorly at the end of last season when they had nothing to play for, but just before that, just after the break, they were tremendous. Put in really good performances there's one against Napoli that I really took notice of. I think they got goals disallowed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think did they get a draw at AC Milan as well? Or one of those in a really high-scoring game.
Yeah. They were just really good for a while. I know they tailed off towards the end of the season. I think they had a couple of injuries as well, but they bring most of their squad back this season, and starting off against a Cagliari team who struggled on the road last year. I think they're minus 12 expected goal difference, and we had them 16th on our Infogol XG table at the end of the season. So I just think that it's a good home game to open up with, and I think it's a good price, 1.97.
Yeah, that's a fair enough price for a Sassuolo team that was very exciting towards the back end of last season. So that's it for this week's podcast. A reminder that all of our written previews are available on infogol.net. We're going to have previews on Premier League, on the Championship, and from across Europe as well. So do be sure to check that out. And a reminder that everything that we discuss here is available to view on the free downloadable app and on infogol.net.